checking in with Maria. Hey, Maria, how are you doing? How are you feeling?
Hey guys, yeah, look, it's been electric on the field. You've been talking about the emotions of these Georgia Bulldogs, even the former players that I've been talking to as well. Nakobe Dean, who's now with Philadelphia, he told me that this was dominant from the very beginning, but he knew that the Dogs could do this. They shocked the college football world tonight, and in front of no one else but Nick Saban, the head coach of Alabama. He's been doing a little TV tonight, which I think is hilarious, that he was able to watch what the Dogs were doing. They are now the standard in college football. Back-to-back national championships is so difficult to do, especially this age in college football. And Stetson Bennett, what an unbelievable performance. All of the offensive players that I talked to tonight about Stet, he had 6 total touchdowns, which ties what Joe Burrow did when he was the quarterback at LSU. He is officially going to be in playoff history. No other quarterback has been able to win back-to-back titles. Guys, it is so hard. They all started saying, too, that they were the underdogs at the beginning of the season. This is a team that, Jeff, as you mentioned at the top of the show, they finished perfect. They never lost a football game. But at the beginning of the year, a lot of people thought that this Bulldogs team would not be here in Los Angeles in January, especially because they lost so many players to the NFL draft. This was an unbelievable night. The celebrations are only beginning, and what a cool night for some of the California kids as well. Kendall Milton, Brock Bowers, both having some really good games. Kendall Milton, who's had to be really patient in this offense, considering how many good running backs have come through Georgia. What a night. What an unbelievable night. I've been trying to listen to you guys as good as I can, but I'm running around trying to get player interviews. It's just been so emotional, so cool. There's been cigars everywhere. There's rain. There's confetti. I don't know what else you can ask for.
You know, Maria, when you take a look at this game tonight, I mean, there's so many ways to look at it, but I think it really illustrates the kind of season that they had. It is the so-called frosting on the cake in this sense that they never took their foot off of the accelerator tonight. They scored 17 in the first quarter, 21 in the second, 14 in the third, 13 in the fourth. I mean, they just never stopped. Some teams sort of ebb and flow, and particularly you see a lot of that in championship games. But tonight, this Georgia team, man, it was the foot to the accelerator. They never took it off until the final seconds ticked down.
It's funny because I heard you talking about it, Jeff, at the beginning of the show, that the difference in this game was kickoff. Literally, from the time that this ball kicked off, it was sheer dominance by Georgia ever since it started. And 55 points, obviously they won by more than that. That was previously the record in the BCS or college football playoff era, and they surpassed that by a landslide. This was a beatdown from the beginning to the end, and you can see Max Duggan, the quarterback from TCU, who was also a Heisman Trophy finalist alongside Stetson Bennett, visibly frustrated, and rightfully so. I mean, Georgia really was clicking in every single phase of the game. Everything was working for this team, and Jeff, it reminds me it makes me think back to the Peach Bowl when Stetson really struggled. He didn't have a good first, second, or even third quarter. He had to have those 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to ultimately get the win for his Georgia Bulldogs to get them here. And obviously the missed field goal helped as well. But he was really dominant from beginning to end tonight. And this was an exclamation point, not just for this team, Jeff and Faith, but also for Stetson Bennett. This dude has gone through literally everything, from being a former walk-on. The last time he was here in California with the Georgia Bulldogs, he was on the scout team defense. He was helping the defense get ready for the Rose Bowl, and now he's here starting quarterback, fresh haircut, fresh new championship ring for the quarterback. I know his mom, Denise, has got to be so happy. I saw her once upon a time. I don't know where she's at now, otherwise I'd try to find her. But what an unbelievable job, like you mentioned. This is going to go down as one of the craziest national championship games in the history of the playoff era. And not because of the game itself, but I think just because of Georgia's dominance. I think Kirby Smart really wanted to put an exclamation point and say, we are here, we're staying here. And especially in this era of college football, with everything changing, with the transfer portal, with guys coming in and out of programs, it's really difficult to maintain the success. Here he is, 2 straight, hard to do. And I think now, I heard you talking about, we're talking about 3-peats. We're talking about maybe 4 trips. I don't see this Georgia team going anywhere anytime soon, even though today was Stetson's last game in a Bulldogs uniform. He's a legend if you ask me. Y'all didn't ask me, but I'm going to tell you, I think he's a legend.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the other thing is, and you mentioned it a little there, and I did too earlier, about 3-peat now. I mean, the Georgia football program now goes to a place where they have never been, and it is the great unknown. What does it mean to be facing a three-peat, when the greatest point of reference in your life is your past, and that's where they are right now. I mean, trying to get motivated for a third year of a chase after the national championship, it is going to be a very unusual looking fall in 2023. And you know, Kirby Smart is a master of trying to find ways to motivate his team. He found it this year by saying, look, nobody believes in us. I believe in you. You believe in each other. And it worked all the way to the end. The question is, what sort of psychological view will he be using in the season ahead to try to motivate his players for a third time toward this national championship and greatness?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're asking me, I think that it could be pretty simple for Kirby Smart. He's already proven already that he's a force to be reckoned with in the college football world. You start throwing him out with his former predecessor, you start throwing his name out with his former predecessor, Nick Saban, and start talking about Kirby Smart perhaps being the greatest football coach right now. Obviously, Nick Saban has all the championship rings to prove it, but Kirby's really making a run for Nick.